Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, second video of the day. Why? Because it's the last press conference of Massimiliano Allegri. Wait, I said last press conference of 2022, not forever. Hey guys, not forever, because I'm sure that we will see him back on the 3rd of January in press conference pre-Cremonese versus Juve, match day 16, the first game of 2023. But let's focus about what he said today, and I really wanted to do a video about it, because he said a lot of important things that can already be revealed about how we will play tomorrow. It's a bit being creative. Why? Because some key players are still not sure to be called up for tomorrow. We are playing at home, so we will discover it tomorrow during the day who will be there or not, and we are expecting some surprises. Otherwise, we have already some confirmation of some names that I told you that would not be there, like Dusan Vlahovic. It's already since the game of Verona that I keep repeating you. Attenzione, Vlahovic, more no than a yes, has been confirmed by Massimiliano Allegri. So we will go through what he said in press conference, trying to do the predicted lineup, and then also speaking about Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, because since this morning when I made the video, there are some news. So guys, what did he say, Massimiliano Allegri? If you want to discover it, it's quite easy. Put a maximum of like, subscribe to the channel, support, guys, the GJustjuve community. We start with the first question. Boom, boom. It was immediately a big important question asked by the journalist to Max Allegri. What about the formation tomorrow? Do we continue with the 3-5-2 that we are playing with since some days, and that actually gave some defensive stability to Juventus? 5 games in a row without conceding a goal, with a beautiful clean sheets. Well, the question or the answer of Max was quite simple. He doesn't know. Why? Because the key player to play that 3-5-2 without Paredes at the moment is Locatelli, and Locatelli is at high risk of not being there tomorrow. Not because of private problem, but because after the game of Verona, Max Allegri already said 2 names that were in doubt, in question mark: Juan Panita Cuadrado and Manuel Locatelli. Cuadrado because of his knee, and and Locatelli because of abductors. A problem, a real problem. They will be evaluated, a final test tomorrow morning in La Continassa, to understand if they will be able to be called up, 1, and 2, to play. Locatelli is more a no than a yes. It's a disaster, guys, because he was the one that was giving stability in a 3-5-2. So we are not sure that we can continue with that. We were all asking for continuity of formations, continuity of men on the field. Well, if we continue with these injuries or annoying things that are not giving the players to Max Allegri, then it starts to be really difficult, because tomorrow, since a few days I'm repeating, we could potentially see a 4-man defense back. Not because we want to, not because it's the right choice to do it, but maybe out of necessity. Juan Cuadrado playing on the right side. We are not sure if he plays or not. We will discover these 2 names that can change a lot of things. We'll come back on them. Di Maria, that could be potentially an alternative to Cuadrado and also to a formation going towards a 4-3-3. Well, he has more than 30 minutes what he played last time versus Verona, but still not a full game. This was said by Massimiliano Allegri. He needs to understand if starting him tomorrow from the beginning and maybe playing 45 or 60 minutes, or maybe playing in the second half. He doesn't know why, and I tell you, it depends on Cuadrado, because if Cuadrado is able to play, Cuadrado plays, Di Maria enters in second half. If Cuadrado is not there, maybe we will be obliged to play Di Maria from the start, and then having an invention towards the second half. Di Maria. Let's understand that, but tomorrow is a crucial game versus a Lazio, and it can be a really dangerous game, also because it's the last game before the World Cup. And I'm speaking about the World Cup, and right after speaking about Di Maria. Why? Because some Argentinian, some Brazilian players, USA, McKennie will not be there. They didn't even mention McKennie. But a lot of players that will go to Qatar 22, we are speaking about 11 players of Juve, they could potentially already think about it. That's the biggest danger for Juventus. Not focusing on the World Cup, but focusing on winning tomorrow versus Lazio in our home. That can potentially see us at the 2nd spot. If Milan is losing, maybe 3rd. But we have to win versus Lazio. Continuing with the other players, well, Vlahovic, I already spoiled you in the beginning of the video. He will not be there tomorrow. I said it, more a no than a yes. It has been confirmed by Max Allegri. So, mental because of the World Cup, I don't believe so. Why? Maxi also said, you know, he can go to Serbia, train the first week there to prepare Qatar, and he can get injured there as well. So it's just that he's not feeling 100%. And if he's not feeling 100%, it makes total totally no sense to have him. With the good news, Federico Chiesa, he will be at disposal. He also spoke about Mancini. He said, well, Mancini can call up whoever he wants, the ones that he thinks are the best to play. He can do whatever he wants. I'm really happy for Miretti and Fagioli to be called up for the first time with the national team. He dribbled a bit the question about Chiesa. I believe that Max Allegri was pissed off, as you are, as I am, as we all are, about the calling up of Federico Chiesa. But he will be there tomorrow. Who will start? Keane? Maybe yes, maybe no, depending on the other players. Well, what about winning the Scudetto? Because that was a question that has been asked, a question that was impossible to ask 1 or 2 months ago. The question has been asked. Maxi didn't answer about his beliefs in winning the Scudetto. He said Napoli already won. They won 3-2, by the way, versus Udinese today. They won. So it's difficult because at the moment they are winning game after game after game after game. At the moment, as we speak, they are unstoppable. Then Serie A 2.0 will start in 2023, and what we are seeing today can be totally wrong in the future. I repeat, I made a video about it. At the moment, 3 players called up for Napoli. Maximum they can go to 5. 11 players called up for Juventus, and that's a big gap of playing resting. I believe personally that all the stars are aligned for the Scudetto for Napoli. The pressure is on them. Will they be able to keep the pressure? Yes or no? Because Napoli, we know that when they are approaching, it starts to be difficult. We will discover it in 2023, not now anymore, because their 22 is already over. What about the common points between Allegri and Sarri? He said, well, not a lot. To be honest, not a lot. He dribbled also that question. He said he's the last coach that won with Juventus the Scudetto. Except of that, well, not a lot of common points. He spoke also about Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. He didn't want to enter. And to enter the details, he said it's a question that you have to ask to Maurizio Sarri. I learned, and somebody teach me one day, to before giving an opinion of a player, I need to coach them to understand how they are. We go back to the game of tomorrow with the possible lineups. Guys, I made 2 with the men at disposal without Locatelli. I really believe that Locatelli will not be there tomorrow. Hopefully, Cuadrado can be there. Look, we can play in the 4-2-3-1, especially also if Cuadrado is not there. Di Maria could potentially start there with Soulé giving him the change, but that can be a possible one. You will tell me, Beppe, you are totally crazy. 4-2-3-1 with Kostic for the very first time as a left back there, Danilo right back, his original position, with Bremer and Bonucci in the middle of the defense. Why am I doing so? Because Cuadrado, he can potentially go back and not going too much up on the field, saving some energies. Keane, he can stay there up front to help and support Milik, and then you have Miretti, Rabiot and Fagioli that can form that midfield. If it's not that lineup, guys, we have to go towards the other one. 3-4-1-2 or 3-5-2, whatever you want, with exactly the same man, with Cuadrado on the right. I believe that in the conditions of Cuadrado, the physical condition, it will be really and extremely difficult to see Cuadrado goes up and down for all the games. And that's why I went for that first one, for the first lineup with a 4-man defense instead of 3. Then it all depends on the physical condition. I believe that Maxi will have a really hard job, because tomorrow is a crucial game, an important game, a game that you have to win. And if you are missing 2 of your players, even if Cuadrado was not playing well, guys, it's not a mystery. If you are talking about Odriozola, if you are speaking even about players like Karsdorp for Juventus in January, it's because we need someone on the right. There is nobody. So I don't believe that if Cuadrado is not 100%, if he's not able to give guarantees to Juventus to play, that we will go with a 3-5-2, because it could be a really dangerous one with Cuadrado and playing past a lot of times. This is what I believe for the game of tomorrow. Guys, I'm really curious about what you think about the lineups, who should play, yes or no, what you think about the words of Allegri about the Scudetto, what about the Napoli win. Let me know in the comment. I will be happy to read them later and to answer and to reply to some comments. Grazie, and as always, Forza Juve.